Peekaboo! A couple snapshots ago, Mojang introduced the Auto Crafter, which conveniently can be set up to automatically craft things if you have some knowledge of redstone. However, this does not apply to me because I have the Create mod. So why would I ever want to use such a simple block when I could build an elaborate factory? So I want to build a factory that can craft pretty much anything that I want, and I'm gonna put it right here where our old house was. The fun part is I have hit record, but I have really no idea how I'm gonna do this yet. Look, if I turn on the cinematic camera, it kind of looks like I'm in a horror film and I'm stalking myself. So I think I'm gonna start just by kind of clearing out some of this vegetation and, you know, flattening out this area, making it good for just building on. This poor rice has been growing here with very little sun underground for a long time. It's just miserable. I gotta clear this out. I have kind of laid out a square here of flat space that I would like to put the factory in, and I kind of cleaned up some of these edges here. And I think first things, I want to get laid out however many stations we need. So what I need is basically one of each of all of these things, like deployers and mechanical presses and mixers, mixer with a basin, a pounder with a basin. No! Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Well, I guess good thing we're building a new factory. Yikes, man. Everything everywhere, all at once. So basically what I was saying was I wanted to start out with putting kind of one of each kind of mechanical machine kind of lined up here. So there's a belt for each different thing. Okay, so I like how this is looking, but I do want to sink it into the floor a little bit just because it'll give us a little more room and hopefully allow us to kind of walk around a little better. Also, something that we're going to need to do, belts are one of the things that cause the most lag, but it does help when you encase them with andesite, kind of like the long conveyor belt that goes all the way from the sandwich factory to the power plant that carries the seeds. Kind of want to encase it like this because that helps with the lag. I think I might go ahead and just do that right off the bat, and that way I don't have to worry about it later. Ah, watch out! The floor is made of conveyor belts! And as you can see, they're all, except for that one, of course. They're all encased, and I will just go ahead and start putting down the mechanical. Wow! I have a sneaking suspicion that something later on down the line is going to require me to have space in between these two things, and I'm going to have to redo all of this, but I'm going to ignore that feeling for now and keep going. Okay, so initially this is looking good. I get a little bit stressed out when I think ahead and I'm trying to figure out fitting everything in here all at once, but I'm just going to take it one step at a time, and we're doing okay, I think. So I think this is all the components that we're going to put in for now, unless I think of something that I forgot. There are two that I'm not intentionally not putting in. For one, the spout, just because you're gonna have to change the liquid out, and for different things, I'd rather just have unique farms for whatever I need to build with that. And the other thing is the saw, which I don't have it pulled up here, but it just has so many things that it can make just with one plank of wood that it's really difficult to tell it which one to make without having to manually go in here and filter it. So I'm going to ignore that one for now. Worst case scenario, I think I can just craft it with stuff. Oh, crafter. I should put a crafter in here somewhere. Oh, how am I going to do that? The weighted ejector just like launched the cat up because it accidentally went up there. That was kind of funny. All right, so after a little bit of frustration, I've found this, but there's still problems with it. Basically, the mechanical arm will take from this depot and fill up the slots, so whatever comes gets put into the right spot. But I still would have to set the filters for all of these, and there's still a problem because if I put in a couple stacks of things and say we're making something like a dispenser, and so you need stone all the way on the outside, a bow in the middle, and redstone on the bottom. If a stack of redstone comes in and it puts a redstone in this slot, but there's still 63 redstone in here, and then it can't really get rid of this to start putting in other stuff, and so it just gets all clogged up. Also, if I don't put in the exact amounts, then at the end, there's not really going to be an easy way to clear it out. So I kind of have two options. I can either make an elaborate thing that allows this to reach like up to 9 things at once, and put them in the right slots, or I kind of trash it for now and come back to it later, which I think is what I'm going to do. 3x3 crafting is probably the least of my inconveniences, so this stuff will be just fine. Okay, I thought of some more things that we need that I forgot about. I'm going to take apart all of these so that I'll have some room to work with over on this side, and I'm going to add them over here. I forgot to add all the fan things. So a washer and a smelter and a haunter, which actually is pretty cool. It just kind of makes the nether things, or the like you can make black stone, I think, with normal stone and cool stuff like that. So I've got to think about how I want to add those in. Okay, so if I cut these out, I got to put my crushing wheels back. These mobs are really annoying. I really should not have decided to live in the cave. Excuse me, sir. Thank you for your generous donation, but you can have your flesh back. Haha! I have found a loophole. I can use the fans in the other direction and pull the items towards it, so I can put them in the back. I should have more room. Okay, I don't think that should set anything on fire. All right, so this setup is gonna work great. I'm thinking we can put the items here, and then they'll get pulled by the fans, and then they'll go up into these chests, and then I just gotta figure out how to get the items from the chests to the output line. All right, so I think I finished this, and I lengthened all of these belts, so things can. I think I'm gonna have a delivery system from above, and then the stuff that falls here will get sucked by the fans, but also get washed, smelted, or haunted by these things. And then they'll get sucked up by the funnels when they get to the end. And then they'll get dumped out onto this belt. It's just kind of being multi-purpose. Also, my wife reminded me that I want to add one of the wire maker things that was right here that got exploded by that dang creeper. Okay, I think this might be closer to our final rendition. I think I'm gonna start hooking stuff up to power. It's that time of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get out our cogwheels. And just like that, everything we got so far is all hooked up to power, and it doesn't really look too obnoxious as far as taking large spaces with cogwheels and stuff. I was able to fit it all in nicely. I think next I need to start figuring out like the flow of items as far as how they're going to come in and how they're going to go out. All right, so I have a lot of progress here. We have a belt going pretty much all the way around this factory. I'm going to need to put in some filters and stuff and chests probably along this corner of the belt. So the stuff will make its way from the input chest, go up to here, And these funnels, most of them will be turned off with redstone like this. But I'll basically allow you to turn off whichever funnel, however you want to process the items that you're inputting. And then they'll come out and come into the output chest when they're done. So that's pretty simple on what it is. I'm gonna probably expand on this later and make it even more automatic, but that's gonna be a really big project as far as my brain is going to hurt. Why did I have to make this game not fun anymore? Literally, I have spent a couple hours on this already, and like probably about once an hour or so, I just like pause the recording and go like lay on the ground trying to think. Okay, so I kind of put some of this stuff down. I've been experimenting a little bit. All right, so my idea is like we have 2 rows of levers here, and the first row up here basically decides which slot it's gonna go through the first time around. And then I'd like to be able to program it so that it'll come through a second time if I have a second lever slotted. So it'll come through and it'll go through this mixer, and then after it's done, it'll come back and it'll go through, say the furnace or something like that. But that's going to be extremely complicated. Okay, it's starting to come together in my head. So basically, I think what I have to do is I have to get this signal strength, and then I have to ignore the second one while the first one's going, and then ignore the first one while the second one is going. I could really do this really easily with computers, but I think I'm going to upgrade it with computers later, and I want to try to figure this out with just redstone for now. I know it's kind of hard to follow what I'm doing. I'm sorry, but brainchild. This kind of pains me because I feel like I'm going to take it all apart when I upgrade it later. I think that's my plan for episode 20. All right, I have made good progress. I've got the first row working. So right now everything is turned off, but if I choose, say, this one in the middle, flickety, then the redstone line turns off up to there. So then the stuff coming along, this would be the first one that they drop into, and they wouldn't even get past this. So that one works. Now I just got to figure out how to completely disable this redstone line when it's the bottom one's turn. So I'm going to think on that for a little bit, and I'll get back to you. Hey guys, I caved. Not like going underground, like I gave in. I think I'm addicted to computers. But just look at this, okay? This is roughly how many components and how much space we would need if I just use redstone. You can see there's even some of these cool new redstone components from the Create mod, but I couldn't even get this to work, honestly, and it's just lots of space and so this is how many components. Oh, hi Turtle. This is how many components we would need if I use computers. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, this is like way more affordable and buildable and compact. And it's also going to allow us to upgrade pretty easily in the future. But for now, I still am going to keep this wall of levers, just because I think it looks cool. I mean, I haven't gone completely computer. All right, I think I got all the wiring for this part of it done, and I'm going to put the computer right there. It's going to kind of be hidden. It's going to be completely automatic. But now I got to put on these redstone links so it can communicate with everything. Just like that, and now you know what time it is. It's time for some yodeling. All right, I think that's everything for now. I think it's about time to hook up our motor to this thing. And a couple episodes ago when I put in the lights up there in the gallery, I didn't know how to turn off the electricity. Like I thought maybe there's a way we could flick the lights on and off, and I didn't know. I thought there wasn't anything I could do, but I found it. It's called a redstone relay, and it just takes redstone and allows electricity to pass through. And so I'm going to employ this because this is going to take a crap ton of electricity. So I actually programmed it into the computer to turn it off and on when it's not being used. So I'm going to go ahead and hook everything up, and then we get to test it. And then we get to test it. And then we get to test it and wonder what's all wrong. All right, I had to do a little bit of tweaking, and I have 2 rotation controllers in here, just one for all of the like heavy machinery and one for all of the belts and the fans that need to go a little faster but don't need as much power. So, and this is our manual control here. You see everything flicks on, turns on, everything's good, and I'm only using 90 energy per tick, which is actually pretty sweet. That's only basically the equivalent of one of the steam engines in there using charcoal. So I think there's only one other thing I need to do before we can test it, and that is I need to go in here and have a system for feeding the blaze burners fuel. And I think it should be fairly easy. So I'm going to put this in here real quick, and I'll be right back. Don't mind this. My wife just came back from a giant mining session, but I'm going to go ahead and label these levers with signs here, Achoo! Just like that. And now we can test it. All right, so actually I'm just going to test out a single phase of something. Like I'm not going to use the second set. I'm just going to use the first set. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a stack of raw copper into this chest. And in order to process it, I want to smelt it with a fan. So then after a little delay, this should flick off. It did flick off, but this didn't. It's being powered by something else. All right, just had to move that over there. And now let's try it again. And it goes up. And it's going along. And it completely missed its turn. What in the world? Okay, it seems that we're still dealing with some technical difficulties. Eventually I'll be able to tweak it more and make it more efficient and stuff like that. But for right now, I just trying to get this to work. All right, and it's going along. It gets pushed into the right slot. Being smelted. And what is going on? Oh, I missed it. Here they go. They all went in here. It worked. Wow. Okay, let's try one more thing. Okay, so something that we've struggled with making before was precision mechanisms, because they basically have to have a golden sheet and then be assembled like 5 different times and crazy stuff like that. So what we have to do this time, I think I'm going to test it out, and it's going to be probably a failure, but we're going to put our 5 golden ingots in there. And then we're going to come over here to our assembly station. It goes small cogwheel, large cogwheel, and then iron nuggets. I'm going to just take the gold out just so it doesn't start on accident on me. So the second stage is triple deployer, and the first stage is normal press. Okay. Let's see if this works. All right. Here it goes. First stage. It goes all the way over here. Gets pounded. Oops. Wow, that was lovely. Pounded on there. All 5 of them go back into the slots. Just like that. And then hopefully the second stage will come. Yep. Here's the second stage. And now they're all going into this area. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. Now I have to do this a couple times. So right now they're waiting for retrieval. But since it needs to go through 5 times, I'll basically make it just go through the triple deployer only. So I'm gonna empty it out and put it back in. This is a little bit inconvenient, but it'll all work out, trust me. Here they go. And here they go again. And then once more. And there they go again for the last time. And here come our finished precision mechanisms. We got one broke, and yep, we got 4 good ones and 1 bad one. There we go. So yeah, obviously I've found a couple problems with it, and there's a few bugs and things I have to do anyway. But in reality, that's actually really nice, and I love the way that you can tell it where to go just through the levers. And yeah, so this has been a pretty fun project. It was a little frustrating, but never fear, for we will continue to improve it. Let me know what you thought. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.